Hey loves, you are destined to receive the love you've always deserved from your specific person, and you don't have to convince anyone of this idea. So this is something I found a lot of people worry about, especially if they see things in their external reality, especially people, friends, family, strangers, kind of talking back or kind of repeating back things you don't want to hear during your manifestation of your specific person. And let's get a little more detailed on this. So remember that as we repeat, or I guess before I dive in intensely, I want to say, has anyone kind of experienced this? Where you're manifesting a specific person or someone you really, really like and you want to bring into your reality through the law of assumption, and you see that people don't match the same views or ideas that you're saying. They basically tell you a million ways that it's going to go wrong. But this idea is actually very apparent when it comes to manifestation or law of assumption, and Neville Goddard even talked about it. But when you tell people a manifestation, and so basically a goal you're trying to achieve in the law of assumption, people are only going to repeat back your limiting beliefs. Because the intention behind telling someone your manifestation is that we're secretly, well, sometimes secretly desiring like support or reassurance that we can actually do it. So when we're acting as someone who really, really wants to do something and we need proof of it, our reality reflects that and then further instills us as someone who needs more proof or motivation that we can actually do it. So that's why if you tell anyone your manifestation, unless there's someone who you assume to be very knowledgeable about manifestation, law of assumption, like a really close friend who kind of has the same views, anyone else is going to repeat back the limiting beliefs and your fears that you kind of contain within you. Because remember, everything outside of you is a reflection of your subconscious mind and your assumptions. And I know I mentioned just a moment ago that Neville Goddard actually also discussed this idea. And he said to keep your manifestation a secret. So do not be telling everyone exactly what you're desiring, what you're doing, what you're thinking all the time, because it only, again, has that effect where it repeats back limiting beliefs. Now, again, like I mentioned, there's a couple exceptions of if you assume someone in your reality to be very relatable or knowledgeable on the subject, like if you're talking to a manifestation coach, they're going to help you. And if you're talking to like your best friend who you assume to agree with your beliefs, they're also going to help and support you. So never think everyone's going to do it. But every single one of us has dealt with this, right? You're either dealing with it right now, or you've dealt with it in the past, or you could potentially deal with it in the future. So this video is going to be a way to completely get rid of that and go completely around it. Or when you do see people repeating back those limiting beliefs, a way that it doesn't trigger you, it doesn't worry you, and it's like a really, really simple idea. So because sometimes this idea can bring us down, this is what I want you to do. So think upon, again, this is almost like a technique or an idea. If this has already happened to you, it's really good. But then in the future, come back to this video if this ever happens. Think about the person or stranger, friend, family member, whoever it is that really is doubting or against whatever you're trying to manifest. Do you have them in mind? Now think of a moment in which they doubted that you could do what you wanted to do. Now this could be a specific person manifestation, it could be a dream you have, any manifestation at all is going to work for this idea. Now whatever that is, and I'm going to use the example of a specific person, I want you now to think about that person as an individual. Look at their life. If it's a specific person, look at who they're married to, dating, or how their love life is. Or if it's a job, look at this person's job. Literally, whatever the manifestation that they're kind of downing on your side, look at what they have on their side. Now look at them and ask yourself, is that something you yourself would like and enjoy? And most of the time, it's not at all. Like let's say you had to kind of move out of the realm of specific person manifestation, because sometimes it's easier to grasp an analogy if it's outside of that. Imagine you want to be CEO of a major company. Who's going to tell you you can't do it? Who's going to repeat back the limiting beliefs that you can't do it? Most likely someone who is not a CEO, right? Who's reflecting in your reality, not as a CEO. But the trick is, look at them and think, okay, is their job something I would like? And you would say, no. Well, their assumptions leads to their life as it is. So if you don't want what they want, you should not take their assumptions, because their assumptions lead to what they have. And if you want something different, you have to have different assumptions. So it actually, I would take it as a compliment if you're trying to manifest the absolute perfect love and someone else tells you no, and someone else, again, never judge people, never kind of ridicule people. Everyone is on the perfect path. So I'm not saying to put this person down if they're not dating anyone or dating someone you don't like. It's not about that. It's kind of like they are going to have their perfect love through their assumptions. And if that matches or doesn't align with your assumptions, and that's not a love you want, then that is great and perfect. You would be like, yes, I hope my assumptions don't match that. In a totally love, I don't mean this in a, don't be mean to other people. Again, everyone is you reflected, but you need to think, if this person, I'll switch it to a more prosperous and abundant, metaphor, and this will be a lot better. So imagine this person is the world's best scuba diver. They make millions of dollars a year scuba diving, and you want to be an astronaut. Okay, you want to be the world's best astronaut. If their assumptions are, again, not going or aligning with yours because you want to be the astronaut, they're the scuba diver, in that case, that's good, because if you match their assumptions and take upon all of their ideas and their beliefs, you're going to become the world's best scuba diver, right? That's what you're going to get, their assumptions of their reflected reality, but we want something different. So again, I would take it as a compliment. If someone disagrees with your assumptions and you want something else, you'd be like, I'm so glad that you disagree with this. That's awesome, because that means I have a differing belief, and that means I'm going to get something else different from what you're getting at this moment in time. So then again, their assumptions led to their life, and your assumptions lead to your life. So if you don't want their life, why are you concerned or worried at all with their assumptions, or taking their assumptions or their beliefs or anything of that matter? Because you are the creator of your reality, and you should go for what you like. You should date who you want to date. You should manifest who you want to manifest. And you shouldn't listen to people, but if you don't like their advice, you don't have to take it. There's no rule that you have to do this or you have to do that. Because again, their assumptions led to their reality. Your assumptions leads to your reality. So if you in your end state imagine that perfect end, and you really, really desire that, you have to listen to your assumptions, your desires, and follow that. And don't let anyone get in your way or kind of convince you to do something else. Because it's funny, it kind of relates. I'm not going to say this quote perfectly because I didn't look it up beforehand, or I haven't seen it in a while, but it's like a Mark Twain quote. And it, again, don't quote me on this, but he talks about the idea that as soon as you find yourself fitting in to the masses or the average person, it's time to rethink what you're doing. Because again, if you're taking other people's beliefs and really listening to their assumptions, denying your own assumptions or beliefs to do that, you're not creating your life. You're creating portions of everyone else's life as your own. And as soon as you have the confidence to do what you want, manifest who you want, live in that assumption regardless of what other people are saying, you're going to get that success, and they're going to look at you and be like, oh my gosh, you and your specific person are so cute and you have the best relationship together. How did you do it? I wish I was like you. That's what's going to happen. So again, don't judge people. Don't be mean to people. Don't ridicule people. Don't look at their life like, ew, gross, I don't want your life. Not at all. Everyone's life is perfect for them as it is. But if your life, you don't think is going to match perfectly with their life, then when it comes to your assumptions, you don't have to take upon their assumptions. And that's a really, to me, when I think about that, and I've told people this in coaching sessions, because this is a super common thing. I guarantee you 99.9% of everyone watching this has gone through that before, whether it be a specific person or a goal or manifestation, whatever it is, someone has repeated back your limiting beliefs. But I think taking upon this idea, really thinking about it, reiterating it, gives so much power and so much confidence, and is kind of like reframing this whole situation to be like, okay, this person isn't agreeing with what I'm saying, but that's actually a good thing. And that's great because we don't have to agree with everyone on everything because it's your assumption, it's your reality. You can create it to whatever you want. And if you want them to be the ruler of your reality, take upon all their assumptions and all their beliefs and all their habits and all their thoughts, all of that. If you take upon all that, you're going to repeat that. And it's actually something called mirroring. But do not forget, this is your reality. If you want your specific person and everyone's telling you, no, you shouldn't do that, this and that, have them take it up with me. Because a lot of the times people think that's not possible, you can't do that. Like the basis of the limiting beliefs repeating back is usually it's not possible, right? But who said that? Who told you it's not possible? It's the same idea that I mentioned in a previous video, in which think about any goal at all outside of specific person. You have to not be able to do something before you do it. You have to have the desire before you manifest exactly what you want, when you move the desire into that state of satisfaction. And if we were to go off the basis, so again, think of the whatever that person said that had you doubting yourself. If we were going off of their basis and that ideology, you could never be anything other than what you are at this current moment. Because technically then, if you want to, and I think in a past video I explained this idea, but if you want to go run a marathon, according to that idea that you can't do something you're not already doing, that should be impossible. Nobody should ever be able to run a marathon or accomplish anything, because the basis of that thinking is if you can't do it now, you're never going to be able to do it. But how does anyone do anything? You know, if you wanted to run a marathon, you would again assume the state, start acting in accordance with the idea, and you would run a marathon. Like there's literally nothing stopping you from saying that you can run a marathon. And I'm sure if you started if you wanted to manifest to run a marathon and you're telling other people, I'm sure they would again repeat back your limiting beliefs. It's so hard. You got to train so long. You got to do this. They're going to tell you all the circumstances. But so many people run marathons, so it's like, what? And so many people have the perfect love, and so many people manifest. It's kind of crazy that we ever doubt ourselves ever. It is kind of like ridiculous that we ever think that we can't do something. But again, don't ever let your external reality convince you that you are not the greatest, most abundant, and positive person in your reality. Because in that case, you are love, you are pure positivity at your core. Don't let anyone ever convince you otherwise. If you did have any questions on this video, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. Remember, you can also reach out to me on my website if you did want one-on-one coaching. If you wanted a personal pep talk right now or to manifest your specific person, head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com. Remember, you can also send me a personal message there as well. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this video, and then also don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. I can't wait to see you in the next video.